This episode of the Golf Gambling Podcast from the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by the SGPN app. Get all of our picks and podcasts for free with the SGPN app. Football is right around the corner, which means it's time for a huge merch sale. 25% off everything, promo code football. Clutch Parlays. We are brought to you by Clutch Parlays. They have predictions for every MLB, NFL, NCAA, and NBA game. The predictions are updated live during the games, which means you get updated odds for every pitch, basket, and possession. They also highlight the best sportsbook to place their highest edge parlays, compete against others in weekly, monthly, and all-time profit leaderboards. Most importantly, Clutch Parlays is very easy to use with a simple and clean dashboard. One-stop shop for research and plus EV opportunities. The best part is you can get 1 month for free with promo code SGPN. That's clutchparlays.com, promo code SGPN. We're back. Leg 2 of the playoffs, BMW Championship from Belle Reve. We head to St. Louis for the first time since 18 when Brooks held off Tiger Woods. Obviously, some great highlights to watch there. A golf course that obviously we only know so much about. I'm thinking of it one way. I'm excited to hear what you are thinking as we handicap this golf course and break it down. So what's your initial thoughts on Belle Reve from the research you've done?
Yeah, I mean, extremely long par 70. We don't usually see them get close to 7,500 yards. I feel like there were some pretty long hitters towards the top of the board. And I know there's tree-lined fairways and the rough can be difficult, but I don't think the course overall is going to be difficult because the PGA Championship set up in 2018, Brooks won at 16 under.
16.
Looking at that entire season, that was the 14th toughest course on the schedule. Pretty much played like an average tour event, and that was for a PGA Championship. So it's probably going to play even easier than 16 under, especially considering the field that we have here. But like I said, the tree line fairways, yes, you do need to be accurate, but I would prefer distance.
All right, yeah, I'm going to go the opposite this week. I'm going to go with more accuracy. I'm hearing a lot of distance, which makes sense. It's a long course. But the thing that's kind of selling me on accuracy is the wetter conditions, which, yeah, you could say if it's a little wet, that should make bombers prevail more. But while this rough isn't thick, if it's wet, that's going to be tough to score from. And in an event where you're going to have to score, get to 15 plus under, I think, and combining it with the softness of the rain that's going to come to yesterday and today, I do think you're going to be able to stop balls with 7 irons from the middle of the fairway. I really do.
Yeah.
So I think those plotters, not all plotters, obviously total driving distance is going to prevail, probably towards the top, but I'm not counting off any of those J.J. Small and Russell Henleys of the world at all, because I really think you're going to be able to stop balls in the fairway from middle iron. So I'm down for that. I am down for that.
Yeah, you do. Like you said, if it is going to be wet, you do need to play out of the fairway. So I don't know, just looking at the course overall, distance will help. But if you're missing fairways and you're long, really doesn't matter because you're not going to be able to score. So I think I still am baking in accuracy a little bit, just not as much as I am distance. You can really go either way here. You can make that. I think either one can get home.
Yeah, there'd probably be a mixture in the top 5 of a guy who's top 5 in accuracy and a guy who's top 5 in distance. So
yeah,
I like to go all in one bracket. So I'm going to go with the more accurate guys. Let's break down the leaderboard. Scotty Scheffler gets that win. Single bullet. Let's go. Awesome week. And then we got Rory, Xander, Ludwig, Sam Burns, and Cameron Young, all under 20-1. Is Scotty going back-to-back and defending, or are we going down the board?
Going down the board just because the number's not what it was last week. I'm not saying he can't go back-to-back. I technically had single bullet on him, but I parlayed it with the Brewers who got
right. I
killed.
Forgot about that.
So
you never rebet?
Never rebet. I couldn't get myself to, so I kind of tuned out on Sunday. So the reason I did that, I always bet money line on whatever pitcher I have going in fantasy baseball. It's worked before. I've done this with Scotty before and he hasn't won.
Damn.
I got it up to 10-1. That same pitcher threw last night. And
I saw what they did last night. Yeah.
22-0. So that was
that's unfortunate.
A little heartbreaking, but hey, process is in the right spot. Shouldn't do parlays.
Yeah, the 5.5 was enough for me. And I was like, you said it last week. I was like, this is short for a 70-man field or long for a 70-man field. And Obviously came through 1 by 8, a very sweat-free winner. So awesome there. Then we got Rory Xander Ludwig, like I just said. So who's your next guy if you have to go sub 20-1?
If I had to go sub 20, I think I would go right back to Xander.
Okay.
I think this does make a lot of sense for him. I don't know. It seems like a great number for Rory, and it seems like a decent course if you're going to go with the distance, but like you can get better numbers on someone like Xander. It makes a lot of sense for Ludwig, but what course doesn't? He's actually going to be one of my finishing position bets. I do
I think I'm with
he
you there too.
sets up really well and is playing really good golf. I just don't think I could get to sub 20 when it comes to Ludwig. So between the three of them, I would go right back to Xander. I was on him last week, and I would go there again this week.
All right, I'm actually gonna touch on Rory McIlroy. Like, I think it's a perfect storm for Rory to, after what he's been saying, I'm nowhere near where I need to be. I'm so far off. It's Rory McIlroy. If anyone can figure out how to play golf, he's one of the guys who definitely can figure out how to play golf. And we're talking a longer golf course, total driving, a ton of short irons if he's driving it well. The approach play has been weak, but like, you're buying him at a low, and I think you can get far better number than what you're seeing out there right now in terms of what I just said. So anytime Rory is like in that bracket where he isn't really in the best of form, he is volatile, unlike Scotty. Like, Scotty's like that top 10 floor for the most part, where Rory can finish last in some tournaments. But we also know what his ceiling could be. He's got nowhere to go but up. I think he's going to go back in the right direction. I think no one's talking about him. I think he's a great DFS play at low ownership, and I think he's going to be a sneaky bet too. I think his odds are nice. So I'm going to go with Rory sub 20-1.
Yeah, I mean, hand up, I skipped right over him this week. And he rates
Which is
out.
fair. Makes sense.
And he rates out number one for me.
Wow, really?
In the last
He didn't rate
30
out well
rounds,
for me at all.
yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, what I threw together, he does. So, yeah, if you can find a better number, like we're getting him in double digits, like you're not betting him at 8-1, 9-1, and it's a 50-man field. So can kind of make the Scotty case last week, and I think that's a decent spot to start depending on. Actually, I don't even think the number really matters. It is a good spot for Rory.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's go 20 to like 60, and then we'll open it up because this is a shorter field. I want to touch on two guys, Russell Henley and Colin Morikawa, two golfers who I mentioned fitting that accuracy plus iron game. Russell Henley had his worst approach week since 2024 Kapalua, which tells me he's got nowhere to go but up in terms of that regard. And we know Russell Henley is one of the greatest iron players on the planet.
Yeah.
Driving accuracy has been there. And similar thing with Colin. He hasn't necessarily been striping it, but it's not all bad. It's been slightly green. I think it's ready to pop, ready to brew. And those are golfers who are accuracy and can dial in middle irons and stop them. So I'm down for those two guys in that middle range. I think they have a ton of winning equity in this type of event. So 50-man field, we're getting like a 30, 37, 40, and then like 60 plus or 50 plus on Russell Henley. So don't gotta sell me on those guys.
Yeah, I would probably go to Cam Young.
Makes sense.
At about 20-1. Is not in great form. Kind of hoping on a bounce back, but if I'm leaning into the distance thing, I think Cam Young is live at 20, and then Chris Gotterup also rates out extremely well for me. T30 last week, but very solid on approach. I like Chris Gotterup's distance at this course on a long par 70, and you can actually get a really good number on Chris Gotterup over on Kalshi. So head over that way.
I like that a lot. Yeah, Cameron Young, it makes sense too. And he hasn't been playing that bad. It was kind of like 1.5 bad weeks. But before that, it was obviously really solid. So I like what you said there. Going down the board a little bit, I want to touch on Jacob Bridgman. He's finally getting back to that like early season approach form where he's gaining strokes on approach every single week. We know what he could do with the putter. And the kid is a good golfer. Like he made it to East Lake last year under the radar, and he's on the way to do that again this year. So he's trending in the right direction, has not yet popped, but if he's going to be that guy where he's advertised, he's going to pop eventually. So why not get it when it's on the way up? Like, it's slowly starting to brew in terms of the ball striking. The putter's there. So I'm down for Jacob Bridgman around like maybe 70-1 I'm seeing. I like that a lot.
Yeah, that's a good number in a short field like this. Down a little further, Minwoo Lee, I thought was another good price in a shorter field, 55-1. another guy who popped for me in my model. I was kind of looking at the Houston Open leaderboard just for the fact that it was a long par 70. Similar winning score, similar difficulty. He was T3 there. Don't have it in front of me, but probably his best finish of the season. Ranks 5th over the last 30 rounds on approach shots from 200 plus. My only concern with Minwoo Lee is that he was very inaccurate last week.
Checks out. But when he's at his best, he's long and straight. So I don't hate that at all.
Yep. Yeah. So 55 on Minwoo.
Yeah. All right. Obviously, this is only a 50-man field. So there's not that many golfers. Do you have anyone else before we want to bring it back around? Because those are all like the outrights I got. So I'm not going to force myself on anybody else.
That is probably all that I have as well. I don't think there's no reason to get into the triple digits here.
Yeah, I have a few triple digit positionals, but outside of that, I'm not touching any of these guys in the outright market. This is like usually a top heavy event on terms of who wins. So yeah, let's do that. We'll do 3 outrights. I don't think either of us hit a top 40 last week. We'll decide what we want to do. Yeah, none of us hit that. Unless who did I take? Akshay. No, I think Akshay finished literally last. Akshay finished yeah, they both finished in the 60s. So we had no hits last week. What do we want to do for top 40 this week?
Let's see. I was kind of looking earlier. So top 30 only gives us 4 guys.
Let's do.
So we can do top 20.
Top 20. All right. So let's do top 20. Let's do that. I know who my guy is going to be, but I'll start it off with the first top 20 of the week. I'm going to go with Michael Thorbjornsen, top 20, minus 105. Simply put, the kid is playing really, really good golf, and he's getting towards those higher end finishes. Even money in a 50-man field for him to be one of the top half finishers doesn't seem like too much for Michael Thorbjornsen. So minus 105, Mike T to start it.
All right, my first one, I mentioned it earlier at the top, but I'm going to go with Ludwig Ober. I'm going to take his top 5 at plus 350. Really had a great week at the St. Jude. Just finished outside the top 5. He was T7, strong off the tee, strong on his approach. I think this course is a really good fit for him. And then my second positional before we get to the one and done would be Justin Thomas's top 10 at plus 280. He was T6 here back in 2018. Didn't play great last week, but at the same time, I think this is a pretty good spot for him.
All right, I like that a lot. I'm gonna go with top 10 for my second positional before top 40. We're gonna go with Patrick Cantlay to finish inside the top 10 at plus 175. As we all know, BMW merchant. He is a BMW merchant, and we're talking like strokes gained total off the tee, strokes gained total driving. Patrick Cantlay has been driving it well his entire life, but they're like really, really good this year, both accuracy and distance last week. He's done that a few times of late, T8, T12 in his last 2 starts. Is he going to win? I would say no, but we know how much top 10 equity Patrick Cantlay has. So that's where I'm going to go with my second positional. Oh, we did skip outright. So you want to do our outrights too?
Oh yeah.
We touched on them earlier, but do 2 outrights before we do the top 40.
Yeah, so my 2, I'm going to go to the 2 that I mentioned earlier. Chris Gotterup at 28-1. Like I said, you can get a really good number on Chris Gotterup over on Kalshi, but he rates out extremely well for me. T30 last week, but was very solid on approach, and I like Chris Gotterup on this longer par 70 course.
I like that. All right, yeah, I'll also go with the guys that I touched on, Colin Morikawa and Russell Henley. I'm buying the accuracy this week. I might be the only one in the world who's buying the accuracy, but if it works, it works. If it doesn't, I will look like a fool, but I'm happy to be on die on hills. That's how champions are made. So let's do it. Accuracy guys, Colin Morikawa and Russell Henley. Top 41 and done. We're going to do top 21 and done since this is only a 50-man field. I will start it out. I will go with a golfer by the name of Sepp Straka, 2.5-1. Not been playing the best of golf, but he's finally gaining strokes on approach. He almost gained 4 strokes on approach last week. And when Sepp is gaining strokes on approach, top 10, top 5, he's got all of that equity in the world, winning equity. So we're buying it at a low, but I think he could surely finish top 20 in this field. Had some nice rounds last week. So Sepp Straka, top 20 is where I'm going.
I am going to go with Ryan Gerard. Have I used Ryan Gerard yet? I can't imagine he would have been. I can't imagine he would have been.
You have not. I have.
Okay, so he actually brings a pretty good mix of distance and accuracy off
Yeah,
the tee, I feel like. And if his irons are on and he's playing to
I like
what
it.
he's able to, I think this could be a good spot for Ryan Gerard, even in the outright market. Like, I think he could possibly get it done.
There's only been 1 week where we both hit. It's been so back and forth, and that was Burger Nick Taylor week. So that's crazy. That
I
is
like with
crazy.
you going
Hopefully,
step though. Maybe you got to go down the board a little bit
yeah,
further. Maybe we're looking
we'll
too
see.
close to that even money line. Trap.
No,
We're
you're
getting
absolutely
trapped.
right. We're getting trapped by the book. But there you have it, the BMW Championship preview and bets. Obviously, shorter show, shorter field. We'll be back next week with the East Lake preview. Dom, as always, thank you for joining me, and we'll catch you guys next week. Peace out.